let's talk plumbing in the Philippines, because you might be shocked about some of the things that they do there, even though the material is there. Okay guys, let's start with the sinks and work our way through to the toilets. On the sink, you will find that you cannot buy the reducer that then has the nut on it with the little silica washer inside there that will grip onto your P-trap. Now your P-trap is the standard Western size. Correct me if I'm wrong, 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches? Don't recall. Anyway, make sure that you buy one of those reducers. Now the Philippine workaround is that they just stuff the pipe in there and then they'd use DevCon. You find it at the motorcycle shops, guys. It's just an epoxy, more of a putty type epoxy, and then they just fill around the pipe. Now, part of my workaround was I brought rubber P-traps from Canada. Love them. They can take an impact. They easily clean. Just wonderful. I love them. Discovered them when I was working in the food plant, and guys would park the forklifts underneath the sink and bam, off would go the P-trap. So rubber P-traps, love them. Shipped a bunch there, love them. Even at our local Home Hardware, I was able to find them in there. Now let's go to the toilets. The toilet output is 3-inch. I did find wax gaskets there at City Hardware. None of the guys know how they work. Hey. Showed videos up one side and down the other, and the plumber just said, "Too complicated, sir, I'm not going to do it." And I said, okay, I'll do it myself. But out of that, be aware that what my crew started to do was, I said, what's the 3-inch for on the order? And they said, well, for your sewer, sir, so it'll match up to the toilet. I said, but code says 4-inch. I know, sir, but you can't always find the 3-inch reducer, 4-to-3 reducer in the hardware stores. And so we'll just run 3-inch. But our sinks are merging into that as well. So I did not permit that because we do have 2 toilets in the house, in our house. So there's 2 CRs. If there was 1, yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, what else can I tell you about the toilets? Yeah, anyway, we went 4-inch. I did find the reducers at every hardware store that I went, but I could understand where they might be in short supply, because there was a lot of times with plumbing they were in short supply. Now, a little side note, a little nugget here for you guys. Watch out for your pipe size as they switch between companies. A lot of that orange pipe is not the same OD or not the same ID between companies. Very frustrating to run into, and we had to return a whole bunch of pipe on one order saying it doesn't match what you sent in the last order. And you know, it happens, right? Because they don't have computers. They don't look up on what you've been ordering. All they know is that you're ordering 3-inch or 2-inch or whatever pipe. And you can get thin wall pipe there too, guys. So be careful of that when it comes to your sewer. You don't want to be using thin wall pipe. Thin wall is fine for your downspouts on your, for your gutters and everything, storm drain, right? I call them storm drains now. I don't know why I do that. It's just hooked into me. Methane. Now, I will give you a little hint, clue here, guys. You could tie your methane at your highest upstream point. You could take your terminus level and peel out a pipe. It doesn't have to be big, guys. We have found 1 inch is more than adequate to do all of this. So you could reduce down to 1 inch, peel off, and go right into your downspouts with it. The beauty is it's at its highest point and the methane is gone. Now, we didn't end up doing that. The guy wasn't, you know, sometimes they understand the English, all of that sort of thing, but they can't then translate the English into the actionable. So that can get a little bit frustrating, guys. So just be aware of that. You can get caught in this kind of stuff. And this is why I say, and so many other people, not just me, you have to be on site. I don't care whether you got an architect or not. You have to be there. Use YouTube, get yourself up to speed. You know, you don't have to know everything. You don't have to know the touchy-feely stuff. But, you know, if you review a video of, let's say, tiling, you know very clearly how that grout is supposed to go down. Okay, that's just the bottom line, and of course it feeds into the AAC. So there you go, guys. My final thing is on showers. Because we had 2 washrooms where the shower P-trap was going to be under the slab, what we decided to do again there, because man, oh man, the number of places that we've rented in the Philippines and the gas coming through there is unbelievable. Terrible. So anyway, what we did in our case is we ran a separate pipe from the shower, joined it to the other shower, took it out, but we didn't put it into our septic tank. We put it into the clarified, the last chamber of our septic tank, so it wasn't in the bacteria side of the tank. Now the reason that we did that was I talked to Lynn and I said, well, if you're going to use any things that will kill bacteria, like not the bacterial soaps, they're pretty benign, right? But you know, high uses of bleach, etc. And Lynn said, well, you know, most of us just do that in the shower. So it goes down that drain. So there you go. That's why we were doing that. We bypassed it. And our P-traps then ended up in a vault outside the house, in our case up against the CR of the garage. And then in that vault we have access to the P-trap if it ever needs to be cleaned out. And it gives you an opportunity, which I didn't do. I should have put in a T at that point, so that I didn't really have to go underneath and undo everything. I could have just cleaned it from there with the shop vac that we now have. Okay guys, probably didn't catch everything. The nugget. Not the nugget. The cautionary note with these guys, they don't like to glue the pipe. They don't like to glue the pipe. They like it when all that soil has gone down for the backfill before you put your slab in, and they like to be able to straighten things up after the soil has gone in. I said, what are you doing, guys? Because they did it on our CR for our garage, and I caught it after the fact, and so it was a done deal. But their argument was, no, there's enough soap, some poop going down there, it'll seal up soon enough. But we already talked about vapor barriers, right? I mean, goodness sakes. Anyway, so make the choice, but make sure that pipe is fully seated in. Get them to hit it with a rubber mallet, seat it in. Yes, you can still twist it if that's the route you want to go, okay? I do understand where they're coming from. However, if you're wanting to build a little bit closer to a Western house, where are you going to offset some of your building techniques, okay? Probably not an overly critical one, but one to be aware of. Later, Gators.